Today on our show,
Suicide Squad is rich,
yes,
and Stranger Things is strange.
and unlocking a little bit of Luke Cage.
All that and so much more on this episode of Fat Man on Batman. Welcome to Fat Man on Batman. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Hey, Jamissus, we're back.
Hello. It's all new,
for the warm greeting. Yeah, welcome to the new stages, folks. This is the new Fat Cave. These are our new monitors, courtesy of TCL. Fucking sweet monitors. We'll be able to put clips in them and shit like that this week. No, though, we're not interested in that. We just want chit chat with y'all. But these will be useful, and not the very least of which is, look, they'll help keep us thin because that's what we looked like when we were at our thinnest. So every time we come in here, we'll be like, gotta fucking put the chips down.
It'll shame us into health.
Speaking of shaming us into health, Suicide Squad has a healthy box office, Mark.
It's doing very well at the box office.
There was a figure that people spoke about in the beginning in the gloom and doom days of like, this movie is going to be a disaster like BVS and stuff like that. But they said if it hits 600 million, it's undeniably a hit. Not a break even, a fucking massive hit for Warner Brothers. And it has passed 600 million bucks.
Yeah, worldwide. It's doing okay.
Yeah, they'll be
Just
fine. So that's a big win for the DC Universe movies.
Yeah, and there was some box office.
And there was much rejoicing.
There was also box office reporting around the time. The first weekend drop, or the second weekend drop, was somewhat precipitous, I think. Yeah, it was something like 68%.
Deadshot rappelling off a building.
It was something like 68% from first week to second week, which feels bad and is not good.
68 doesn't feel as good as 69.
No.
That's what they were hoping for.
As many pointed out, that is pretty much the exact same drop-off that Guardians of the Galaxy had in
Is that right?
2. Yes. And I am a Marvel fan, as I am a DC fan. I'm more of a Marvel fan as of late than DC movie fan as of late. But that to draw some sort of correlation between second weekend drop and quality of movie or quality of reception is somewhat tenuous.
I would also like to point this out. I think these DC movies right now seem to be playing like Star Trek movies, in as much as they have their audience and that audience comes out in full force and they can do a bunch of business. But the Marvel movies, it seems like, and I have no scientific qualification for this, they seem to play beyond what you would call the base.
Right.
Like, my mom is familiar with those movies. My brother, I always use my mom as a reference point. That shouldn't count. My brother will go out and see, he's like, I saw Captain America Civil War. He goes to stuff that he's not necessarily into. He doesn't go to comic book movies generally, but he likes following the Marvel story. Batman v Superman, I was like, did you see it? And he was like, no, not yet, but I guess I will. Like, there was no sense of responsibility. I feel like, just using him as a straw poll or whatever the fuck, it feels like those Marvel movies travel beyond just the Marvel audience.
Right.
And, you could make a bunch of money with just the DC audience, as we've seen, but hopefully now with Jeff Johns fucking riding the, what do you call that? The reins. I think this, what do you call that? Chuck wagon.
Chariot, chuck wagon.
Is going to be pulling up to the gravy train. I lost my fucking analogy. But I think Jeff Johns being on board, then you're going to start seeing, you got to remember, Jeff Johns is the guy who's also involved in all those Berlanti TV shows. Like, I saw Jeff go pitch Supergirl the day they pitched it. How weird that I eventually wound up going to direct an episode this season. But he's, his work on these characters at DC, particularly like Flash, translated directly into that wonderful Flash TV show. So this is a guy who knows how to do the beating heart of comic books that has so far been encased in armor and bitterness from space that have characterized some of the earlier stuff. So I think that's positive sign in a big direction. In other words, right now the DC movie's been playing to the base, and the base is huge, so that's great. Look, 600 fucking million, Batman v Superman. I know, everyone's like, it didn't do as much as this, that, or the other thing, but it did make 60 million bucks. So now that Jeff Johns is in there working on the heart of it all, I think you're gonna watch that base grow. Like, think about it, man. Fucking Suicide Squad making 600 million bucks. is pretty astounding.
Yeah, I mean,
Nobody knew this book.
There are 3 metrics for success in movies. There's box office.
Hold on, give him a fucking single. Mark's fucking talking. Give him a single.
3 metrics. Box office, which is arguably the most important. That's what makes you make more monies. There is critical response, which these days is the least important because critics do not set the tenor and the tone for what an audience does anymore.
Except for awards pictures.
Awards pictures, totally. Like that's
very helpful there.
If you're making a Woody Allen movie, then you need critics to like a Woody Allen movie.
Right. You can, if you're a critic, you can either hail or assail a comic book movie, and you're probably not going to make a dent, except like, oh, that's the plot. Like, I read the reviews just to be like, what is it about? Because I'm hungry for the information.
Right.
So the opinion aside, I'm just like, oh, that's the plot? Oh, that happens and stuff? I like spoilers. But in terms of awards movies,
totally,
absolutely
indie
make a
films
difference.
Are made and broken by critics.
As a kid who was an indie film kid, who was broken in a positive way by critics, long before he was broken in the other way by critics. Like, that's absolutely true, man. They can really make a young filmmaker's career. But you know who said it best? Fucking Peter O'Toole in Ratatouille. When they talk about like in support of the new.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, back to you.
And then the third metric.
Hey kids, remember Ratatouille? Came out.
The critics rolling.
Feels like a minute ago, but really was probably a decade at this point.
But you should go watch that Ratatouille shit. Really
even Patton Oswalt's like, was I in Ratatouille? That was a long time ago. Update your references.
I was the rat, right?
He's amazing in that movie. That whole fucking movie's amazing. You know what? Give me a single.
Give him a single.
I ain't fucking defending that.
Don't back off.
Thank you. Ratatouille is an amazing fucking movie. I'll bring it up any old time. Back to the 2-shot.
Double down on Ratatouille. And the third metric is cinema score, which is what audiences think. At the end of every movie, in certain theaters around the country, they will poll people as they leave.
Poll them? Like you like that movie? Like, fuck, I like it a lot better now.
I'm having a stroke.
Honey, is that cheating?
No,
I was polled. She's like, I'm being polled as well. Boy, things went dirty fast.
Well, they always do. But like that is how the audience feels about a thing. And the cinema score grade is always like A+, A down to F. Now, Suicide Squad has done incredibly well at the box office.
Yes.
Not incredibly well with the critics.
Yes.
And not as well as they would have liked with the audience.
What was the audience score?
The audience score was a B. Now that, I mean, in my sort of educational career, was about as good as it got.
I was a straight B student, and some people will say I'm a straight F filmmaker. Actually, if you average my earlier better work with my newer, more puzzling, baffling work, I probably get to about a low C, D. So B to me would be amazing.
B's great.
If I got a B fucking cinema score on Yoga Hosers as it comes out in theaters this week.
When does it come out?
September 2nd with an early screening on August 30th. A Fathom Events in theater screening where you can see me do an intro, a 30-minute intro to the movie, and then the movie plays and stuff. Expect our cinema score to be very low. That's just the way it goes. But you're right. Those 3 factors, those 3 metrics decide a hit.
And see, what's been the problem so far with the DC movies is that they've done well at the box office. I mean, the $900 million that Batman v Superman
check that box
is by any accounts a hit. And the critical response, they don't care because that does not make or break a movie. But it's that cinema score, as low as it is, and B for that kind of movie is low.
It is.
Because if you're playing to an audience that's supposed to love this stuff, they should love this stuff. And if they don't, then they don't. And so I think that's again what Geoff Johns is hoping, and we're hoping that he can help do, is to start to rise that cinema score. Like
bring that overall score up.
Right, like make it play to everybody as opposed to just the base. The base will always love it, the base will always go. But you don't get to like $1.4 billion, $1.5 billion, unless everybody loves it.
It goes beyond the base, right? Into people who are like, I see like 3 movies a year. I saw that Captain America movie. It was good. Like those people.
Right.
Where you're like, what? You didn't fucking see. Do you ever get irritated with people that are just like, I only go like twice a year. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That's right there. The movies are right there. Just fucking go.
Like, how often do you go to the movies? I'm like, not much. I stream a lot. But I support the arts.
But I see all of the things and I pay for them.
I'm trying to think what the last movie I saw in theater was. I guess Squad.
Yeah, the last one you paid for?
I think Squad, yeah. Because I saw it at the premiere and then I saw it again. I think so.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go see, something came out this weekend where I was like, that looked good.
The thing I still want to see is Hell or High Water.
What's that?
The Jeff Bridges, Chris Pine sort of neo-Western thing.
Really?
But yeah, but just Chris Pine. Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Yeah. Don't ever put Marc Bernardin in the same room with Chris Pine. He'll make that noise again.
Chris Pine.
He's a good actor, man.
I like him in most things.
I look forward to his
Equivocation much.
Yeah, what is that all about? I'm like, he's a good guy. You're like, he's all right. He ain't too good. Yeah. He's got that look. I look forward to his Steve Trevor.
Oh, yes.
Trevor. In Wonder Woman.
So yes, we know what you thought of the Suicide Squad. Would you like to encapsulate your feelings?
I enjoyed Suicide Squad. I understood, why some people were like, this fucking ain't for me. Like, yeah. Give me a single. Give me that single. You give it to me.
Take it.
I enjoyed it, but I understood when some people were not enthused about it. But I'll say this: my kid obviously loved the movie. Go back to the two show. My kid loved the movie quite a bit. A big bad way. She really connected with it. Probably, mostly because of the name thing, Harley Quinn. I think, but she was like, I love it. She was crying seeing the movie. I'm like, crying because you don't like it? And she's like, crying because it's the best thing ever. I'm like, you do realize I directed a movie that you're in. You could say that was the best thing ever. And she didn't. She's like, I can't lie to you, Dad.
Second best thing ever.
I love the Joker and Harley. She was very moved by the whole experience. So anyway, her grandparents, Byron and Gail, Jen's parents who live with us and have lived with us since the kid was a baby, they're always like, they're really cool about keeping up with whatever the kid's interested in, they like to be involved in it, not involved in it, but they'll look at it too, so they can talk to her and stuff. They're very close friends. So they were like, we're gonna go see Suicide Squad. And I was like, oh, listen, you oldsters pushing 70, I don't know if you're gonna get much out of this. It's gonna be baffling to you guys. You might wanna see something else. And they went, and they loved it.
Did they?
Yeah, isn't that weird? Very strange. But I'm not that weird. It's like if you like that kind of movie, like I did, I liked it a lot. Those were my thoughts on Suicide Squad. There's a whole video about that you can go watch on Fat Man and Batman. However, Mr. Marc Bernardin never got to weigh in with his thoughts. He saw it before me.
I did see it before you.
He did. He saw it
2
first.
weeks before you.
Mark sees stuff for the LA Times. He can't always talk about it until it comes out and stuff like that. Spoilers and shit. Well, not on camera, but when the cameras go off, he's like, whisper, whisper, whisper.
Batman After Dark.
Yeah, that's when we talk. That's when buddies just talk, man. It ain't nothing professional and shit. Just bat buddies.
Just John.
Bat buddies,
about
man.
Shit.
Like dudes in prison are bat buddies and shit. That's what we were like fucking talking about. Ooh, what'd you hear? What'd you see? And thoughts and stuff. Now, after all that homoeroticism, we get to share Mark's thoughts with you right here on Fat Man on Batman. Give him a big fat fucking single. The bat single, if you will.
The bat single.
Tell him what you thought.
I did not love the Suicide Squad.
Go back to a 2-shot. What the fuck?
I can't believe it.
Back to a single?
No, I have a couple of specific problems. My first being, Amanda Waller is forming a team with the express purpose of being able to deal with a metahuman threat like Superman dropping a building on the White House, or Superman doing awful shit, or basically Superman, the bad version, was her worst case scenario.
Yes.
So she forms a team with Captain Boomerang on it.
Yes.
Who's going to do what to evil Superman?
Whip a boomerang at his head. If I had a kryptonite boomerang, I'd take him out, I would.
Like, I've got to get that Slipknot guy who can get to high places quickly, because that'll help.
That's not kryptonite. That's kryptonite.
Like that.
Slipknot.
If that is her,
You just needed a body. Yeah, you needed
somebody to die.
Spoilers. But here comes the science. Old spoilers. But here comes the science. Drop it, writer.
If you are going to, like, if her purpose is to be able to deal with Superman, then this is not the team you build to deal with Superman. If all she was doing was trying to sell the government so she could build a team, then I need to see what she really wanted that team for. Like, if it is Task Force X to do bad shit, show me her sending them on a mission to do something actually horrible, and then have it go awry. Then you get to redeem Amanda Waller as not a, like, awful tactician, strategician, whatever the person who does strategy is.
Strategery.
Excellent strategery, Amanda Waller. And then my other fundamental problem with that movie.
Stop poking holes in it. You're ruining it for me.
I'm sorry.
Man.
I don't
You're
mean
ruining it. No, you can't ruin it for me. Go ahead. Poke another hole.
Is the Enchantress.
Yeah.
Is the
boy that was a clear storyline.
Yeah, what is she doing? Why is she doing it? She's doing a thing with the glowing machine in the city to do what? To do why? Why? I don't understand. Amanda Waller discovers this woman and like the chalice with her body, her spirit in it, next to another one that she doesn't safeguard. Like she's got Enchantress's heart in a box with rigged up to nukes and shit. She's gonna stab it to make her do stuff. The brother, who has the same powers, in the same shaped thing.
She's like, boys are far less aggressive than girls. Leave it there, he'll be fine.
Just putting it on a shelf somewhere.
What man has ever been destructive?
Yes, God.
Now the Enchantress, we gotta look out for her.
The entire history of mankind is based on men being horrible.
Once again, man, you got a fucking storyteller watching your movie. You better tell some story.
So here's my fix for this movie, which will also solve the what is the Joker doing exactly?
Okay.
Other than just being the Joker occasionally, but having no actual impact on the story whatsoever. The Joker kidnaps Amanda Waller. The Joker wants Harley back. He decides the way to get Harley back, now that she's been enroped into this Task Force X, is to kidnap the person running Task Force X. So the entire movie is the Suicide Squad going to rescue Amanda Waller from the Joker. And instead of these faceless, awful bad guys that we have to kill, they're the Joker's bad guys. Like, make it so that it's the army of the Joker against the Suicide Squad.
Bunch of clowns. Psycho clowns.
Yeah, like, I don't need...
So if they kill him, they're like, they were crazy.
It's also...
He unleashed them from a fucking death row or something. So when they get killed, everyone's like, yeah.
But it's also, they're bad guys.
Yeah.
They're allowed to kill people. That's why you get an army of bad guys.
The Joker pulls his henchmen from a yes-kill puppy shelter. That makes everybody in the audience go, kill those fucks! Beat his brains in with your bat, Harley Quinn! You're absolutely right. What a good fucking... I'd see that movie too.
So that way you get the romance between the Joker and Harley in a big bad way, because the Joker's doing all of this to get Harley back.
It seems like the romance, pun intended, was backdoored in this movie, don't you think?
I feel like it might have been.
I've heard some reports that things were trimmed out so as to make him more... like make that relationship more affectionate, which I appreciate because I actually like that aspect of the movie where I'm like, oh, it's kind of cute. Instead of doing the old chestnut of like he's an abusive dick to her, like he was actually kind of sweet on her. But apparently in earlier drafts, he was a pretty abusive. But they trimmed that. I think it was a smart trim. I think it was smart. I don't know if that came from the studio or whatever, but I think that was actually a good pull because that was one of the things I really liked about the movie was, oh, they like each other a lot. It's kind of sweet, and it's weird fucking, Harold and Maude way.
Yeah, like, show me that codependency. Show me that Sid and Nancy. Show me all of that juice between them, and have that be the spine that this movie is functioning on, and not the Enchantress and her crazy glowing machine to build an army to do something I don't give a shit about, and Amanda Waller not being very good at putting people together for an express purpose, and just shit happening.
Did you think it was weird when Amanda Waller just fucking shot people on her side?
Yeah, just like bang, bang, bang. Nobody can know.
That was really, I was like, is that what this movie is? Oh my Lord. But you tell, when you saw it before me, you were like, you loved the opening, or you really
The first, 30 minutes are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, the first, let's build a squad, you guys. Here's who everybody is, and fun introductions and little backstories.
Jeff Johns.
And also there was the story that had emerged after the movie came out. It was that there were two competing cuts of this film that were tested. There was the filmmaker's cut. David Ayer had made a cut of his film.
Who I love. I love him as a filmmaker. I think he did a great job with this. But boy, he's fucking taking it hard over the movie, man. They went after him so hardcore.
But he submitted a cut that was very
And you know what, for the record, at the premiere Suicide Squad, like there was a story reported that he was like, fuck Marvel. It was so innocuous. Like I was there in the room. It wasn't like, oh, the war is on. It was like someone from the audience was like, fuck Marvel. And he was like, yeah, fuck him or something. But it wasn't like, fuck Marvel.
No, it wasn't like Viva la Revolution. No. Fuck Marvel!
Not at all. Anyway, back to...
He submitted a cut that was sort of very dark and very serious. And then Warner Brothers asked the company who cut the second trailer everybody loved.
Yes, the real life.
And then into Ballroom Blitz, and then it was all fun and popping and moved. They asked that company to submit a cut of the film.
I submit myself, as somebody who is a 20-year plus veteran of the film business, That's rare.
Yes.
That's very rare that the control of any movie is ceded to the marketing department. Usually, and it sounds like these cats were hired. It wasn't even in-house Warner Brothers marketing. So those trailers were working. That's the movie that people were getting ready to see. So I guess they were like, shouldn't the movie lean toward that?
Yeah, I mean, Warner Brothers does a thing incredibly well, which is sell a movie. And the opening weekend, the $127 million gross, is entirely based upon the marketing. Like, that's how you get it. You get people excited to come to your movie, trailers, campaigns, posters, appearances in talk shows and late night and all of that stuff. That's a marketing win. It is the second and third weekend that are, how did the movie resonate with audiences?
Right.
And they wanted, like, people were responding so strongly to the ad materials, they wanted that feeling out of the movie. And so, for the first time I can remember, they tested 2 competing cuts of the film and then decided to lean way more heavily on the trailer company's cut than the David Ayer cut. And I think that's what you see in the movie. You see the first 40 minutes or so being like a big trailer, and poppy and moving and needle drop city and expensive needle drops. Like, you want to get Kanye West for 20 seconds in your movie, that costs you millions of dollars, and they didn't care. Like, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. The Rolling Stones, give it to me. David Bowie,
Make
give
it
to me.
rain. A lot of musicians got rich off this movie.
And then the second half of the movie felt like it's what David Ayer wanted it to be. And it gets very dark, it gets very urban thriller, it gets very grim. And I feel like, at least for me, those 2 things never quite meshed. And I'm not saying that I liked one over the other, but I wanted the movie to feel as if it was a whole. And it didn't quite.
I like your movie. I like the idea of your movie. I hope that'd be an amazing sequel. Somebody steal that idea. Like, we won't even care.
Yeah,
would you care?
Have it. I mean, no.
Literally, let's be honest. If they made a movie and it turned out to be exactly what you just pitched, would you be mad?
No.
What if they went out in public and they're like, we stole this from Bernardin?
As long as they said that, I would be fine.
What if they were like, we stole this from this nameless, faceless, anonymous internet person?
From some anonymous black nerd. Man,
we stole from the blurred community.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, hey, if they decide they want to make Rogue One the way we had talked about it, then, like, bravo, like that. I just want to see that movie.
Yeah.
If they decide they want to make the Joker after Harley because somebody steals Harley from him movie, 100%. You know, like, all about that.
And Harley movie they announced was happening.
Yeah, they did.
They just announced something else too. What did they announce? There was big DC news where they're like, oh, fucking Justice League Dark.
Yes.
Justice League Dark was announced with, and they've talked about doing it before, and then it went quiet. And they're like, we're taking it off the books.
Yeah, like Guillermo del Toro was supposed to.
That's
direct it before.
But now it's back on the books in the very capable hands of Doug Liman.
Yes.
That got me excited because I love that fucking Tom Cruise
Edge of Tomorrow
20 title movie. It was
Live, Die, Repeat.
Edge of Tomorrow: Live, Die, Repeat. That was the movie. It was supposed to be called originally All You Need Is Kill, which was such a fucking metal title. Why did they get rid of that?
Probably because Kill didn't market well.
Fuck that, man. That separates the wheat from the chaff. You're the kind of person that's like, I'll see a movie with Kill in a title. To Kill a Mockingbird. You fucking dorks.
Also, by the way, Warner Brothers just sold Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
To lots of people.
Fucking A, man. So they should have went with All You Need Is Kill. Instead, they went with Edge of Tomorrow, which sounded like a fucking soap opera.
I know.
From the 70s.
Next week on Edge
of Tomorrow. I love you, John. I don't love you. I'm having an abortion. Dun, dun, dun. Edge of Tomorrow. And then their poster tagline was Live, Die, Repeat. But it was printed so large on most of the posters that everyone thought, not everyone, a goodly portion of people that went to see it thought the movie was called Live, Die, Repeat.
Yes.
So what did they do on home video? They literally retitled the movie Edge of Tomorrow: Live, Die, Repeat. Like, if you're the guy that wrote Live, Die, Repeat tagline, don't you think you sue for credit?
Yeah, come on, just give me something.
Yeah, I want a fucking co-author credit. Yeah. I came up with that title.
Buy me a Hyundai. Not like a nice car, but like a Hyundai.
Yeah, that's the least you could fucking do. How much you pay Cruise? Anyway, what did Lyman get? Lyman deserves whatever he got, because that movie's fucking dope.
I love that film.
Really good. And actually, to be honest with you, most of the stuff he does is really fun and watchable. It's not Looper, but Jumper.
Jumper.
Jumper, like, by all fucking rights, shouldn't work. It's a really enjoyable movie.
With young Hayden Christensen.
Yeah. What else has he done? Mr. and Mrs. Smith is a fucking fun movie and shit. Remember when she jumps off with the necklace? Zzz.
And Born Identity, the first Bourne movie he did.
That's right, which has fucking one of the most amazing moments in fucking cinema history when the German cop's like, Scheiße, Scheiße. Well, he's don't say but
shit.
Scheiße, shit you. He's trying to wake up fucking Matt Damon on the bench, and Matt's like, and then finally fucking just grabs it, and it gives him that Matt Damon first, like, I think it's the first time I ever saw Matt do it. It gives him that, I don't even know how you just smirk, that eye look, or he's here, give me my single. He goes, man, this ain't even good. I can't even do it. That's why they don't pay me the Matt Damon bucks. But that moment, man, I talked to Matt Damon for Geeking Out, and he said Doug Liman authored that moment. He was like, ooh. He's going, do this again. He's going, do me a favor. And he moved the camera. He's like, just look up right at this angle right here. Now do it 2 more times while you're holding the baton. He goes, okay, we're good, cut. He goes, what'd you have? And he was like, there's just a fucking look that you gave, which was great, just in this one moment. So I just wanted to get it close on, and that's what's in the movie. And that's like one of the things that, like, so many people talk about. Scott Mosier, after he saw it, the guy I do this podcast with, was like, you know what I loved, man? When Matt grabbed the baton, I was like, me too. So fucking Doug Liman, responsible for that moment, he's going to direct Justice League Dark. That Jumper movie was kind of like a comic book movie.
It felt like it.
Felt like it very much. So I trust him with the source material. I don't know who's writing it, but...
Me neither.
They got a cartoon trailer. Did you see that?
No.
I just watched it online. I don't know if the movie's old or if it's, I think it's coming. It's called Justice League Dark, and it's got Batman in it and fucking Swamp Thing and Constantine and Zatanna and looks like Felix Faust. Like fucking, it's pretty bad. Deadman.
The Demon.
Etrigan and Jason Blood. So it looks good, man. It's the first time you've seen like an animated, well, I was gonna say first time you've seen an animated Swamp Thing. That's not true. There was a whole Swamp Thing cartoon at one point. They made action figures of. Can you believe that shit? So that you could see what Justice League Dark movie might look like. I think it's funny when they announced it. A bunch of people who write, who've been writing like, these DC movies are too dark. First announcement comes out is like, Justice League Dark.
It's like, we understand.
Yeah, they're like, isn't that redundant now? So Justice League Dark, they're not calling it that. They're calling it something else.
I don't know. I would, if I was them, just fucking lean into it.
Spooky Tales of the DC Universe, I believe that's what it's called. I don't think it's Justice League Dark. I don't think that would create brand confusion for people that don't know. There are a bunch of people out there that don't know the Justice League, if you believe that. Warner Brothers is going to teach them over the course of the next year, but to teach them about Justice League Dark, too much. So
Justice League Occult.
Yeah.
Justice League Sepulchre.
Justice League Metal. Batman fighting demons in the demon world. All right, there you go. So anyway, Doug Liman directing Justice League Dark.
Yes.
They had just announced that news. I, for one, am all for it. You?
Bring it.
100%.
Bring it.
And that's all the DC news we have for you today.
Right.
That we took you from Squad to
Dark.
Dark to darker. There's so much more to talk about, but we'll talk about it on another episode of Fat Man on Batman. There it is, man. For Fat Man on Batman, I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
And join us here next episode, which I think will be in like 2 days. Same fat time. Same fat channel, smodcast.com or
youtube.com/Kevin Smith.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Thanks for watching. Do me a favor, click that thing below that says subscribe. Every time you click that, you save a baby kitten from murder.